All right. So we're doing so when I'm sloppy, like when I'm sloppy, and so we've talked about, I think, about the four different levels of coaching. And so I asked the ladies if they could hear me downstairs, and they both started laughing. And so it might get more intense. Uh, and so there there's a science behind this. Okay, there's a science behind this, and the science is that when you're going from one dimension to another dimension, that there's a dimensional gap here. And so you don't see it when you're looking at this. Like when you look at this up here, you don't see it. You go from one dimension to another. But when you look at a microscope underneath it, you see that there's a gap here. And in this gap, what happens is most people get to the top and then they slide down. But when you go ahead and go from here to here, you make a dimensional gap jump. There's a lot of friction. There's a lot of it's gonky. It's wonky. It's just messy. So what moves us forward is faith, see, understand, do, humility, great stewardship, contentment, self-discipline, perspective, strong life vision. This is what moves us forward. What holds us back is fear. We do not see. We lack understanding. Do not do. Pride, poor stewardship, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, low morale, lukewarm. This is what holds us back. This is what moves us forward. And so when Mark gets red faced, there's a science behind it. And again, when you see that happen, you just want to stay calm. It's fine. It's not what you think it is. And so you both have been trained. What do you say if you want that red face to stop? What do you say? This is like the panic button. This is like because once you get into this, and Nora, she can do some training in this. We ought to have something just for flying training. And so, literally, if you overreact, did you both know she was a pilot?
Who, Nora?
Uh huh.
No.
Yeah, so she's a pilot. And so, literally, when you're flying a plane, if you overreact, you die. If you underreact, you die. Like you pretty much die. Um, I'm not saying that when Mark gets red faced, you overreact, you die. You underreact, you die. I'm not saying that, but you will be traumatized for the rest of your life if you overreact or underreact. So Nora or Elaine, when Mark gets red faced, there's two responses. If you stop, there's two responses that'll get it to stop. What are those, Nora and Elaine?
Mark, it seems like you're upset.
And that's perfect tone. Like, it seems like you're angry, or it seems like you're upset, or it seems like you're out of control. Because immediately everything it's the coolest thing. Like you can control me, like totally. You just all of a sudden he's peaceful, calm, and you're just like when it happens, you're like what? Because then I'll say, really, Katie, like why would you go ahead and say that I'm upset? It's like I don't know, your veins are popping out of your neck and your head looks like it's going to explode. I'm like, oh, copy that. So now I'm not upset. And so my kids, you ask them, you can ask my kids and my wife any question. They won't give you the natural wife and kids answer. They won't. Like, is your dad insane? Oh yeah, he's off. Like they won't. They won't protect me. They throw me under the bus, run me over two or three times. Like it's just how it works in our family. It's okay. It's fine. I'm a man. It's not a problem. And so my kids, if you go ahead and say, is your dad really this intense? Like no, he is. He more. Like if you think he's yelling, he's not. Trust me, he's not yelling. Um, and then they would say they learned as little children. Like little children are smarter than adults are. They learned as little children. They'd say, when dad is, you think he's yelling, one is he's not. if you ever want to say, Mark, seems like you're yelling at me. Can you give me some perspective of what yelling is? And then I can give you perspective of what yelling is. So everything's a matter of perspective, right? And so the kids would say to me, they'd say, my dad isn't dangerous when he's got red face. They call it the Mark bomb. That's Angela. She named it that. Fascinating story some other time. So she calls it the Mark bomb. And so dad's not dangerous when his face is red, when he's intense. Where he's dangerous is when he's quiet. Questions? So, because that's when he's thinking he brought you into this world, he can take you out. Not if the government's listening or anybody, this is not violent. There's no physical violence. It's just, you know, anybody can be replaced. I can be replaced. Any of us can be replaced. And so, you know what? He might be thinking. So my kids, I replaced them when they were, teenagers. If they had bad attitudes working, you know what? I'll replace them. The business x-ray used to be all done manually. Is my wife back there? I didn't know if you guys were looking at her
I'm
expressions and seeing what
No,
her
the
expression.
sun was glaring, so she's
Oh,
gonna close
gotcha.
the
All right.
shade.
Anybody have any questions on, like, when you're making a breakthrough, it's messy. Like Patrick said, he's like, Mark, when you're making you hate making dimensional breakthroughs because it's a whole different world. When you go to the next dimension, it's a whole different world. It's exciting, but it's terrifying. And so in life, when you're growing this is the year of growing. Every year I have a new theme. And so this is the year of growing. Once I had a year of drama. What was that like, Mark? It was pretty cool. So, anybody have any questions or thoughts? This one, whoever, I think Katie, I think your turn. And so this one would go into the. Do you know where this one goes, Katie? I can show you. So you guys will switch back and forth. So it's important when we're training somebody that they automatically do it, and they have to do it again and again and again until it's muscle memory. So this is good. All right.